In this lecture, we will discuss about Aries recovery algorithm, which is an improvised version of the log-based recovery mechanism that we have seen so far in the previous lecture. So many optimizations are incorporated and so many processes are minimized so that recovery can be much faster. And this is one of the state-of-the-art recovery algorithms as on date. And it is designed based on the principle of steal and no force approach. Let us spend some time on this steal and no force approach. In the earlier slides we have seen, in the data access slides we have seen that every transaction will have its own private workspace area in the main memory. And sometimes what happens is if the area that is given to a transaction, if it is full with the actions of the transaction, and if it still wants to access some more data items, then necessarily some of the data that is residing in this copy has to be moved onto the stable storage. Even without committing, we may have to transfer certain contents of the pages onto the stable storage. So that is what is called stealing. And another thing is that even when the transaction commits, immediately we need not force the transaction to transfer all the pages onto the stable storage. There is no force. So these two principles are incorporated here, but still with the log records we can recover back even with transferring of the contents onto the stable storage before committing. Unlike the log-based recovery mechanism, Aries maintains three data structures. One is a log, which is different from the log that is being maintained in the earlier system, which is much more powerful and much more data is incorporated in the log here. And not only that, a special feature is incorporated here, the log sequence number, which actually creates a mechanism of linking the log records within the log. So that if we take one log record, we can keep on trace all the consequential log records because of this log sequence number. That is one thing. The second one is the dirty page table, which again maintains the information of the pages which were dirty in the sense whose actions are not committed yet. And transaction table, this again maintains the active transactions that are available at the time of crash. So using these three data structures, Aries algorithm is built. Now let us see how it actually operates. In this algorithm, when the recovery managed is invoked, the process progresses in three phases. First one is the analysis phase, second one is the redo phase, and then undo phase. In the analysis phase, the mechanism identifies the active transactions which are active at the time of crash, and it identifies the dirty pages in the buffer pool which are to be taken care. And then the redo phase repeats all the actions of the committed transactions, and it restores the actions of those transactions which are committed, and they are secured. And in the undo phase, it undoes all the actions of the transactions which are initiated but they are not committed or at the time of crash. So all such transactions are to be undone. So all the three phases, once all the three phases are complete, the algorithm restores to the normal action of the database. This Aries algorithm incorporates three main principles. One is write ahead of logging, repeating history, and compensation log records. The write ahead of logging is that any changes done on the database, or database objects rather, first the log record has to be created before doing any action on the database. First the log record has to be created, and then that log has to be transferred onto a stable storage, then only action are to be done. So this ensures that even if there is a crash, the log record is there on the stable storage, and based on that log record we can recover it back. And the second one is repeating history. During redo phase, the algorithm traces back all the actions of the transactions which are active at the time of the crash, and it redos all the actions of those, and it brings back the system to the state where it was at the time of crash. And in the compensation log records, while undoing also, it writes a compensation log record to the stable storage so that the logging can be minimized even if there is a repeated crash. So this is another specialty of this Aries algorithm. Now let us observe the data structures that we use here. The first one is a log record. The structure of the log record consists of the previous LSN, transaction ID, type, page ID, length, offset, before image and after image. The previous LSN is the log sequence number of the log that precedes this. So by storing the log sequence number of the previous one, creates a link between the logs that have been created in a sequential manner. So given a log record, by using these log sequence numbers, we can trace them back. That's what the intention is. And the transaction ID, what is the transaction that operates, that is being operated now, and type, whether it is an update type of log record or it's a read-only type or whatever. The type is indicated here for the log record, and that page ID, on which page it is writing, and what is the length in bytes. Offset indicates the displacement in the memory addresses where it is located, new value is located. And before image, before writing the value, what is existing, and after image, what is modified, what is a new value. That's how the log record is being maintained. Now, if you observe, the starting three fields are common for all the log records, and the remaining fields will be added only if there is a update log record. If it's not update log record, there is no point in adding these fields. The second structure is the dirty page table. It consists of the transaction ID and recent LSN. Transaction ID is obviously the transaction which is writing on this page, and the recent LSN is the log sequence number of the oldest log sequence record, that because of which this page has become dirty in the sense uncommitted state. So it is actually the oldest log record because of which the page has become dirty. And when it comes to the transaction table, again there are two columns are there. One is the transaction ID and the last LSN. Here again the transaction ID is mentioned, and what is the active transaction that is occurring on the database now, and the last LSN of the transaction. That means what is the latest log record that is being written on this by this transaction. Actually, there is a difference between these two tables. The transaction table consists of the LSN of the latest log record of the transaction, whereas the dirty page table consists of the oldest log record, log sequence number, which make the page dirty. And if you look at the interconnection between these three structures, on the right hand side we have the diagram. You can clearly observe that T1000 is a transaction ID. It is appearing twice, and T2000 is also appearing. And all the log records are of update type, and pages on which they are being written, P500, P600, P500 for the pages on which these transactions are writing. Two transactions, T1000 and T2000. And if you observe the dirty page table, P500, that page has become dirty because of the first log record T1000. So that is why the arrow is pointing towards that log record, because that is the first log because of which the page has become dirty. Though the same page is also being written by some other transaction, but the first log that made the page dirty is the first log record. That is why the recent LSN is set as the LSN of the first log record. Similarly, page 600 has become dirty because of the second log T2000, and again the LSN is set as the recent LSN of the dirty page is set as the second log record. And if you look at the transaction table, the T1000, the latest log record of T1000, fourth one. For 2000, the latest one is appearing on the third one. That is why the last LSN values are set as the log sequence numbers of those log records. That is how the link is being maintained between these structures. So these three data structures are continuously updated as the database is running, and once the transaction commits, the transaction data is deleted from the transaction table, and once the page is transferred into the stable storage after the transaction commits, that dirty page table, from the dirty page table the page will be removed. That is how the continuous operations will go on. The Aries algorithm traces in three phases. The first phase is the analysis phase, then redo phase, and undo phase. In the analysis phase, it starts at the analysis from the last checkpointing and where it was successfully operated, and then it identifies all the transactions which are active at the time of crash, and it traces back to the start of those active transactions, and it determines from where these transactions are to be redone or to be undone. And it identifies all those aspects. And once the analysis phase is complete, the redo phase starts from the point of log from where the active transactions are occurring. And in the analysis phase, in the redo phase, it redos all the log records which are supposed to be reenacted. And once the redo phase is complete till the end of the log record, then undo phase starts from the end of the log record and keep on undoing the actions of those transactions which were started earlier but could not committed or aborted till at the end of the crash. So this continues until the start of such transactions. Once it reaches the start of those transactions of undoing all those actions, it writes a abort log record and stops. This is how the log records are being used to analyze, redo, and undo. Now let us try to understand these three phases in detail. Let us start with the analysis phase. The analysis phase performs three major tasks. One is it determines the point of the log from where the redo phase has to start, and it determines the pages in the buffer pool that were dirty at the time of crash and which are to be redone. And it determines the transactions which were active at the time of crash and which are to be undone. So all the three actions are performed. Now let us see how these are identified in particular. In the analysis phase, it starts from the checkpointing, and from the checkpointing it identifies all the transactions that were active at the time of crash, and for each of the transactions it traces back to the start of the transaction. And every transaction from the beginning, if it is updating certain values on certain pages, then it identifies those pages which were become dirty because of these transactions, and it adds the dirty page to the dirty page table. And the earliest LSN that made the page become dirty is also added to the dirty page table. So this is being done for each transaction starting from the earliest one. Suppose some other transaction is also writing on the same page which is already present in the dirty page table, we need not update that one because that page has already become dirty, and we have already identified the earliest transaction log sequence record because starting at which the page has become dirty. So only one entry is done for each page, and the earliest log sequence record is added to the dirty page table. That is how the dirty page table is being updated. And the redo LSN the parameter redo LSN is set as the minimum of all such recent LSNs of the dirty page table. The dirty page table may contain several pages. We will identify the min of all such LSNs, that is the earliest of all such LSNs, and that becomes the starting point of redo LSN. From there onwards, we keep on redoing the actions because they were the actions that are to be reenacted. If the dirty page table has become empty, that means no pages at that point of checkpointing are dirty, and by the time all the pages are the information on the pages is being transferred onto the table storage, and those dirty pages are removed from the dirty page table. If it happens by the time of checkpointing, then we set the redo LSN as the LSN of the checkpoint. And when it comes to the undo list, the analysis phase also identifies the undo list. It again identifies the transactions which are active at the time of crash, and it updates the transaction table. So into the transaction table, it sends all the transactions that are active at the time of crash, and it also identifies the end of the log records of each transaction. So if TI is a transaction that is active at the time of crash, it identifies the end of such transaction, and the LSN of that end log record of that particular transaction is added to the transaction table. So this is how all the transactions are added to the transaction table, and the last LSNs of those transactions are added to the transaction table in case of the analysis phase, and they act as the starting point for the undo phase. If a transaction is committed or aborted before the crash, the transaction is removed from the transaction table. So the undo list shall contain only those transactions which have initiated their actions but do not have the end of the transaction commit or abort stage. Only those things will be undone in the undo phase. In the redo phase, for each of the readable log record that was identified in the analysis phase, the updates are redone, and including the compensation log records. In this phase, what you do is it first checks whether the page in which this log is to apply, whether it is in the dirty page table or not. If it is in the dirty page table, then it checks whether the recent LSN of the dirty page is less than the current LSN. That means the oldest log record that made this page dirty is ahead of the current log record, and also once it is done, once it is checked, then it also checks the system reads the page from the disk to the buffer and checks if the page LSN, that means the latest LSN that is written on this page, is strictly smaller than the current LSN. Actually, these two conditions ensures that the LSN that is to be written on the page are one way the recent LSN of the page is earlier than this LSN. That means the oldest log record that makes that page dirty was either this or earlier than this. And the second latter condition ensures that the last update on that page is less than the current LSN. So this LSN is after that. This is not already there. So once these two conditions are checked, in this case the redo operation is performed on that page and updates are done. The undo phase performs backward scan on the log records, and the loser transactions that were identified in the analysis phase are taken care here. And for all the loser transactions, for every loser transaction, it identifies the last LSN that was active at the time of crash. For each of the transactions identified, and those actions are undone. And whenever a particular log record is undone, the LSN to be undone is updated with the previous LSN of the log record. That's how it scans backwards and undoes on the log records. If it is a CLR type, if it's a compensation log record type, the action will be different. And if it is an update type, while it is undoing, a compensation log record is created. If it is an update type, a compensation log record is created. For compensation log records, set next LSN to be undone to undo next LSN, which is the last log record that was written for that particular transaction. If undo next LSN is null, that means we can ignore that CLR because it was already undone. No need to undo it again. Now we will see the ALICE recovery algorithm through an example. Here consider the sample log record that is given here, 00 to 08 begin checkpoint and end checkpoint log records. And then T1 has written something on P5, T2 has written something on P3, T1 aborted, CLR is written for T1, LSN 10, T1 has ended, and after that T3 has updated on P1, T2 has updated on P5. So these are the actions. Now there is a crash at that point of time. Now once there is a crash, the ALICE algorithm comes into picture and the analysis phase starts. So it tries to identify the transactions that are active at the time of crash. It tries to identify the dirty page table. So dirty page table and transaction table are to be identified now. So if we start with 10, log record 10, T1 is there active at the start of the checkpoint. So if T1 is inserted into the transaction table and T2 is inserted after that, but after the T1 has been aborted, CLR is written and T1 has ended. So T1 comes out of the transaction table because the actions are complete for T1. So T1 is no more active at that point of time. So T1 is removed from the transaction table. After that T3 is added, T2 is added, and there is a crash. So T2 and T3 are the active at the time of crash. When it comes to the dirty page table, P5 is added to the dirty page table, and the recent LSN is 10. P3 is added to the dirty page table, the recent LSN is 20. And after that, P1 is added to the dirty page table, recent LSN is 50. Even though P5 is there with 60, it need not be updated because already P5 is already there with recent LSN, which is less than 60. So it need not be entered again. So the dirty page table now consists of 3 entries. For P5 with recent LSN 10, for P3 the recent LSN is 20, for P1 the recent LSN is 50. Now, so transaction table and dirty page table are identified. So the analysis, once the analysis phase is over, then redo phase starts. Redo phase starts with update on T1 with write P5. So it has to be redone, and after that 30 T1 is aborted. Then CLR is there written, and 45 T1 has ended. So all these actions are redone, and T1 is removed from the actions. The redone is complete on T1. And when it comes to the undo phase, in the undo phase, whatever transactions that have initiated but have not successfully completed, they have to be undone. So in this case, T2, T3 are to be undone. For that, we start from the undo phase starts from the last log record, that is 60. Update T2, write P5 is there. We need to write a compensation, because it's update type. We need to write an CLR, compensation log record, for this, for undoing. So write a compensation log record T2 LSN 60, and the undo next LSN for this is for T2 20 is the undo next LSN for this. And after that, CLR, another CLR update on T3, write P5 is there, that has to be undone. CLR is written with undo T3 LSN 50, and since that is the only action log record that is available for the T3 and that is undone, we can end the T3, because undo action is complete for T3. So T3 end is written. Now, at that point of time, again there is a crash. So once there is a crash, again the eraser recovery algorithm starts from the big checkpoint and end checkpointing, and it tries to identify the active transactions. But this time the T1 has ended, so the analysis phase identifies T1, initially identifies the T1, but after T1 end is encountered, that is removed from the active transaction table. For T2, that end is not there, so T2 will remain in the transaction table. When it comes to T3, T3 will remain in the active transaction table initially, but T3 end is encountered at 85, so T3 is also removed. So at the end of the analysis phase, during the second cycle of restart, T2 is the only active transaction left. When it comes to the dirty page table, P5, P3, P5 has the recent LSN as 10, P3 has recent LSN as 20, but T1 has ended afterwards, so P5 is removed from the dirty page table. After that, P3, P3 again the recent LSN is 20, and after that no record is there, so P3 will remain in the dirty page table. When it comes to P1, T3 has written that, but T3 has ended subsequently. That's why P1 can also be removed from the dirty page table. Only P3 will remain in the dirty page table. So transaction T2 and page P3 will remain in the transaction table and dirty page table during the second restart. Now, when it comes to the redo phase, after the all the initial actions are again repeated. So T1 ended, and after crash again CLR is there. For CLR at 70, LSN 70 for CLR, undo T2 LSN 60. This has undo next LSN as 20, because T2 is again present at LSN 20. So undo next LSN for that CLR at 70 is 20, referring to 20. That is still left out. Whereas for 80, for LSN 80, if we redo the CLR, undo next undo T3, undo next LSN for T3 is null, because no other transaction and no other action is left for T3, and T3 is undone, and T3 has ended, and that can also be removed. So only T2 will remain with the page P3 with CLR with the compensation log record referring to LSN 20. So action at 20 has to be undone, and because of that, again CLR is written for undo T2 LSN 20, and once that is done, again that P3 can be removed from the dirty page table, T2 can also be removed from the dirty page table, and both the tables will become empty, and the action is complete. That's why the dirty page table and the transaction table becomes empty, and T2 will end. This is how we can recover from the crash, and after that it can resume the normal actions.